Hey, this podcast holds nothing sacred. This is Life, Tech, and Sundry. And what is Sundry? It's our experiences put in a melting pot to the internet. So join us on this wild ride called the LTS Podcast. Follow us at LT Sundry on Twitter, LTS.pod on Instagram, Life, Tech, and Sundry on YouTube, and all your favorite podcast distribution services. Stay frosty.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of the LTS Out of Office. With me, I have Alan. How you doing, Alan?
Hey, Marcos. Thanks for having me back on.
Yes, sir. And just, to show a little bit of the secrets inside the kitchen, we're recording this on the week of Christmas. So, yeah, it's exciting. Thus, you'll see, if you're seeing the video, a little Christmas tree here and there pop out, even though Alan and I are watching a nice little Christmas ornament, if you will.
Yes.
It's nice, very nice. And
Merry
it's
Christmas,
cold.
everyone. Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man, it's been a wild year. A lot of personal. We were just warming up in at least an hour, easily, conversing about different things, Alan and I, and I'm really excited, to see what's gonna happen with the show, with this episode. So, with further ado, let me give you a little warm up, a sizzle reel, if you will. Imagine the latest advancements in the quantum realm. There's been more advancements in that side. The tech side, iPhone has been announcing a new model, iPhone 17, I think. But this time, they're not going to even support the Type-C. What will they support? Let's find out. And on, on the medical side, they've been finally making more, and I think it was this year, but they finally made a transplant of organs of, I think, a pig to a person. I forgot what it was, but now this time they are printing out organs, 3D printing organs, and they're actually the medical government thing is doing testing for them to be transplanted onto or custom printed for people. And there has been also with the Federal Health Administration, they've been doing tests with CRISPR, federally speaking, because privately with private companies, you best believe they've been using it for five years or something on their side. But federally speaking, there's like a long hand in hand with the organ printing, 3D organ printing, and the CRISPR or DNA manipulation on that side. So there's that. And then there's also anime news. So with that little highlight reel, Alan, would you like to pick a topic of the notes that you and I have shared?
Yeah, the first one I think is good. So it says breakthrough in quantum computing paved the way for future technologies. It says Quantum Magazine, December 10th. And it says quantum computing is no longer a sci-fi fantasy. Scientists are making incredible
Leaps.
There you go. Yeah, you were highlighting over it. I couldn't see.
My bad. That's me,
Incredible leaps in this mind-bending field with the potential to revolutionize everything from medicine to artificial intelligence. Get ready for a future where computers can solve problems that are impossible today. So is this the Google chipset that they were talking about?
That's one of them. But what inspired all this, that boosted this study, one of the things, I don't know if you remember during COVID when they were you could rent out your computer for people to start solving medical problems. There were third-party companies were saying, hey, let's still give the service to pay the public and try to develop formulas for quantum computing. May that be on cybersecurity and on just regular manufacturing and, computer stuff. And this has been going on since the pandemic, which has been 2020 or mid 2020. But these are the results that they have right now. Private companies, they're not going to share their formulas, but this is what they were able to sizzle reel us, if you will. It's not like full on detail, but at the same time, it was enough for the magazine to publish it. And it's at the end of the year, so
Right.
It's not a Google thing, but best believe that companies dipping its toes. That one, Amazon is also doing it, Apple's also doing it, but they don't have anything towards the public to sell us yet. It's only enough to report it as a scientific advancement.
Right. So, I mean, the only reason I asked if it was Google is because I think that was like the latest news or update of, I guess you could say, the big tech companies coming out with some sort of chipset or technology that they've produced where it's on the level of competing with, say, like a Chat GPT or something of that sort. And it was interesting to me because partly due to the fact that people that were, I guess, complaining and kind of worried were people in the Bitcoin community, or I guess you can say that whole blockchain community, because they kind of worried that if someone like a Google has a technology for quantum computing, it would probably be almost super easy for a quantum computer to basically solve whatever's left or expedite the solving possibility of all the equations for Bitcoin and the like.
Make it even harder for the rest of everyone else.
Yeah, so it's whoever has a chipset like that, like a Google, they could probably just solve it and keep all the Bitcoin or whatever other digital coins that need to be solved.
Is there a finite amount of coins?
Yeah, which kind of basically, I guess you can say, it puts a limit or scarcity to that actual coin in order for it to be in the minds of some scarce enough to give it some sort of value, right? So yes. I think one of those things that they qualify Bitcoin compared to others is the scarcity aspect. So divisibility, scarcity, and I guess there's like a couple. There was this gentleman that I was listening to that basically broke up why or how that is. Excuse me. And basically one of those characteristics is the rarity of it, right? If it's not easily, obtained, usually that gives it value. The other person that was refuting him or going back and forth with him was, what's this guy's name? Peter Schiff. So Peter Schiff is a person that likes to invest in gold and basically kind of poo-poos the idea of Bitcoin because it's like gold is real money is his mantra. Bitcoin is, just something that people are going to realize at some point that it has no real value and doesn't really do anything for you, which the only people that are getting or making money off of it is people that buy at the bottom and are selling at the top because they can fool the people that are buying into it right now to buy it at such an overinflated price, like almost like a pyramid scheme is what he was saying. But going back to the quantum thing, basically when Google announced their new chipset or their new computing capacity for whatever they were doing, people in the Bitcoin community were kind of getting a little bit worried. Yeah, because they're like, okay, so this computing is probably going to be able to solve all the equations that are left for...
And raise the bar, if you will.
Right. And kind of... Sorry, bro. Give me a second.
Look at the Christmas tree. Look at the Christmas tree.
So basically, in order for them to actually make money or get more of the Bitcoin, they would need to solve complex equations. And in order for that to happen, give me 1 second.
Yeah. Go ahead. In the meantime, I'll chat it up. So in other words, I've obviously a lot of questions for that, but the simpler one is that obviously money has a certain value because we, as a society, give it a value to it. In other words, the small group of people that bought in when it was not that hard or to mine the effort was low for the Bitcoin and develop a blockchain, which is part of the formula of Bitcoin, is that it made it easier. The profit or the revenue for the amount of labor was either low, and the value for it was also low because there wasn't that many people in it to start with. Same thing with gold, thus the gold rush and all those things. But historically speaking, I was just explaining to the people, to the listeners, if you will, that I feel like there's a certain correlation between Bitcoins and gold itself, but in the sense that it's the belief that it holds a certain value amongst the society. There's an unbreakable, there is a definitely breakable side on the Bitcoin and on the gold. But on the side of Bitcoin, at the beginning, it was a small pool of people, quote unquote, mining, working out math problems for the get paid. Thus, you were getting more coins in the beginning. But the more people came in and knowing that there's a finite amount of coins increased the value, like you said, the scarcity. Thus, the more effort was needed to get more of those coins. Same thing could be said with the gold. That's why there were, historically speaking, mines that literally dried up of their gold veins because people mined them out, meaning that whatever amount they pulled out had a certain value, historically speaking. But we all know, or it's understandable, that the planet has, the mineable parts of the earth has a finite amount of gold. So that also in itself as a society knows that it could be used to hold the value. It's all interconnected to the sense that we live in a society in which that gold holds a certain amount of value, bitcoins hold a certain amount of value, and it's the pool size of the resources and the pool size of the quote literal people that go into the gold mines and the people that are running the math mines or the chip mines to solve the problems and get paid. So knowing that the pool for gold and because it has more time mixed in with society, it holds a certain amount of a stable, and it shows it holds a stable value. Thus, the gold standard for the US dollar and the need to switch to petrodollars, if you will, because the government knew that there was a certain finite amount of gold on Earth, and they knew that. I mean, I don't know what it's complicated, but at the end of the day, I'd say still stick with the metals personally, because technologically speaking, you already know that people are gonna run, and even with the metals, with scamming people, with what's the Gilded Age or running fakes, anywhere there's gonna be a possibility to get, what's the word, scammed, stolen, and all those things. That's still part of the society, but at the end of the day, I would say trust your metals. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think you have a good point there, Marcos. The only thing I would add is that me personally, I would probably be a little diversified, because you just don't know.
Yeah.
Diversification helps in the sense of like you being able to have your foot in like different situations, right? In this case, you can have a little bit of gold and you can have a little bit of Bitcoin and
A little bit of stock.
a little bit of stocks, a little bit of bonds, a little bit of real estate, a little bit of
Holding a
business.
Pokemon card, right? That has a high value.
Yeah, like that's, I guess you can say that's more speculative.
Yeah.
And it's not as I guess battle tested or time tested as
Or cars, a high value
gold.
cars.
That's more along the lines of collectibles, right? Like the Pokemon cards, the cars, paintings, wines, art.
Yes, vintage wines.
Yeah, so those are the type of things that you want to, that's speculative. That's more of a collector type of item. And to be quite honest, it's like you don't know. There might be a year where Pokemon cards are going to be all the rage. Everyone's going to want them. And then there'll be times where it's not, you know?
How do you maintain that value though? That's my question.
That fluctuates, right? And and when we talk about, I guess, diversifying, you want to hold on to something that doesn't fluctuate as much, right? Or as drastically as other items would, right? So in this case, take gold, for example. Gold doesn't fluctuate as crazy, right? Piece of property, real estate doesn't the only problem with property probably would be that it's not as liquid, right? So you can't make it turn into cash as quickly as you would like to. But again, going back to the quantum computing thing, it's like that's essentially what they were having problems with. They were worried that
they saw its potential.
Yeah, so that would probably be a big issue for them, because then the equations that need to be solved in order for you to obtain more Bitcoin were going to be solved in a matter of, probably months or years, opposed to like a lengthier time that they kind of like expected it to be.
Yes.
Until I think they I guess people that are in that world basically told them, or were explaining, no, I think we should, take a moment to actually observe and see what all this quantum computing is about, and understand that that's still not, enough, I guess, resources to in order for them to solve those type of equations fully. Maybe in the future, yes, but not yet. So it's still almost like, I guess they were trying to paint it as it's still in the infancy stage of quantum computing, where it it's great, but it's not the full potential of quantum computing.
So they're speculating, or with proper reason?
I guess with proper reason, just because of now this is all from the information I'm gathering from this. It was an actual episode that Dumb Money was explaining, and they were kind of like breaking it down, because as investors, they wanted to see who they should invest or what they can invest in in order for them to kind of like, I guess you can say,
hedge their bets, if you will.
yeah, hedge their bets and be in a proper space to make money off of whatever, I guess you could say, the speculation that they kind of had, right?
Remember the story? I think it was from them. Before the hurricane season, they invested on generators.
Yeah,
companies that were
Generac.
making Generac. Yeah, what happened with that? What's this?
I think
Did
they
it-
made a good amount of money doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they were also looking at obviously the technology aspect, namely Tesla and companies that are in robotics right now, because they have the sneaking suspicion, based on their research, that a lot of these Tesla robots and things similar to it are already capable of doing so much more than they're leading on to, where they're already having them work inside Tesla workshops.
Factory.
Yeah, factories doing.
I mean, they had to though. They had to do that, like
I
to
guess-
promote at least something that's solid versus something that's experimental in the factory.
Well, of course, but I guess it gets to a point where it's like, yeah, now if you get to the point where you're able to streamline that and automate it, you don't need as many people. So you can work on that in the factory, not just a couple hours. You can have that machine working more than 8 hours plus. And they're not going to complain. They're not going
You
to
know
ask
what they
for
should
a
invest
raise.
in then? On lubrication oil and all those things for whatever, or batteries, whatever the
I mean,
robot needs.
that could be a play. Again, I don't know what the angle would be there.
There's so
if-
many angles there.
Yeah, of course. Like the wiring, right? Copper, gold
Copper.
wiring. Yeah. Silver
Plastics for
wiring.
insulation for the wiring.
Yep. All that stuff. But again, depending on who the provider is it going to be a US provider? Is it going to be south of the border provider, made in Southeast Asia provider?
Or Africa or Ukraine, right?
Yeah, right? Whoever the company that is going to sell them those raw materials in order for them to make those type of wirings
Yeah, sir.
and utilities.
It's like the iPhone 17 thing. They probably had the model of it being wireless.
Do you want to move
wireless.
on to the
Yeah,
next
yeah.
one? All right, let's.
That's what. Okay, so according to that one with the let's go down
Tech
to the big
Buzz.
buzz. No.
Says Tech Buzz, the will blow your mind. That will
Yeah.
blow your mind. I'm sorry.
Yes.
So the first
Rumor
bullet point,
has it. Yes.
right? You want to read?
No, you go.
Okay. So the first bullet point says rumors swirl about the iPhone 17 ditching the charging port entirely. So it says Mac rumors December 11th. Is Apple about to go completely wireless? Rumors suggest that the iPhone 17 might ditch the charging port, forcing users to rely solely on wireless charging. Brave move, Apple, or recipe for disaster?
Okay, with that, I believe that they had this model, these test models, at least printed out a couple thousand to make sure, because that's how the first iPhone, right, or one of the iPhones got promoted. They did some guerrilla marketing and left it in a bar, quote unquote, in California, like that. Like, oh, what is this phone? And I think that's one of the ways they promoted. Also, did guerrilla marketing for one of the iPhone models. But
Really? Which one was that one?
I remember one of the guys that was working for Apple, one of the presidents, went to a bar and, stumbled out, quote unquote, and leaving his iPhone in the bar. You already know that's a faux pas nowadays. Imagine back then when they're doing test models, or the CEO for Huawei was, quote unquote, photographed being seen using a trifold smartphone or tablet, whatever it was. And it was the president of the company going on a public airplane, when you best believe he would be going on a private airplane. But yeah, anyways, what I was trying to say is that this iPhone 17 model being, according to their vocabulary, could be MagSafe, quote unquote. They already had something since 2017 or 2018 that they were probably working on and fine tuning it, the overheating, the interference with the radio communications, and or fine tuning the technology on their computers. If I'm not mistaken, the Surface had something equivalent of MagSafe. The laptops, the MacBooks had MagSafe, right? Some of the models.
I think so. I want to say that MagSafe, they've always had it on, not always, but I think they had it on their Macs, on their computers.
The Pros, right? The laptops.
I think so. And it wasn't until, I think, maybe right during the pandemic, I think they wanted to adopt that onto the phone.
Yeah. Wireless
think so.
charging. I think they were one of the first ones to do wireless charging.
Wireless charging, I'm not sure who did it first.
The QI, whatever the Qi charging.
Qi charging, I think, was something. I think that was like a third party, and I think that was like a trademark registered, like Qi charging. Again, I don't remember. We could definitely look that up, but whoever I guess patented Qi charging is person that's making a buttload of money, because I guess you kind of have to go through their patent to get licensing for something of that nature, right? Similar to that, right?
And then MagSafe, they copyrighted that.
Right, MagSafe they copied, but essentially it's the same thing. And I think that's their way of getting out from the patent, where they would have to pay a royalty to whoever invented Qi charging, unless they have to pay them partly because it's very similar to whatever Qi charging is.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But I mean, again, I don't know who was first. I just know that, at least for the iPhone, like going back to what you were saying about having guerrilla tactics for promoting, I guess, I mean, people would take the new technology out in the wild, right? And like a graceful lion, you see them out in the wild, and you're
right.
What is this trifold situation going on? Or what is this slab or slates, right? Or these two, like this piece of glass sandwiched between two pieces of metal, right?
I never saw any guerrilla marketing for the bifold ones, the ones that we see nowadays.
Well, I think again, don't believe me, but I do kind of recall, I think Marquez saying that he saw a bifold. I don't know if it was like the first iteration or second iteration out in the wild. I'm not quite sure, unless it was him personally having the phone in his hands, and people kind of notice like he has a phone that isn't out yet, and he's doing some sort of like review and testing it. So I mean, now it's a little more common, but I'm pretty sure back in the day, I guess guerrilla marketing is one of the ways that they did things. I'm not sure if they still do that now, or if it, I mean, again,
I need to do a segment about this, man. I need to give you your top 5 guerrilla marketing stories. iPhone is one of them. This Chinese gentleman with a Huawei company with the trifold smartphone. I think it's out now from Huawei.
I think more than anything else, for me, it would probably have to do with something that you mentioned, or it might be one of the topics that we wanted to tackle about charging. Like, I think the bigger issue here is we've gone to a point where there's only so
bottleneck, man. Where's the bottleneck?
Yeah, there's only so many pixels that you can.
Pickles? My boy hungry.
I'm probably hungry. There's only so many pixels you can actually fit on a screen.
Yes.
And there's only so many, I guess, there's only a certain amount of zoom that you can actually squeeze into digital zoom where it makes sense. Where those type of things are iterations that are slightly better every time you upgrade your phone.
And the returns are smaller, man, each time.
Yeah.
Though.
So realistically here, if you're trying to make some innovation or strides, this is the reason probably why they're making foldable displays. And that's one way of tackling a issue. You kind of want screen. Yeah, you want a bigger screen. You want more real estate to do
more battery.
That's the other one. The bigger issue, I think, for everything is the way it actually gets charged, or how long the device is charged for. So I think the bigger issue or the problem that needs to be solved, that will probably gain more money for the company, whoever solves it first, is that issue of charging. Because realistically, what you want is having a phone, even if it's the phone that you have right now, if there's a way that you're able to have it charged for most of the day without you needing to plug in to charge it, to top it off, that would be probably the next challenge that someone needs to solve. Where it's like, I remember someone saying or explaining, I don't know who it was, but wouldn't it be awesome if you had some sort of technology where there's like some sort of device that you can plug into your wall, or that's already pre-installed into your ceiling of all the rooms in your house, where it transfers electricity or energy to your phone, and that way it stays charged throughout the day inside your home. You don't have to plug it in without
like a countertop or like an accessory that's
no
ubiquitous, if you will, in every room.
Like there's a wireless. You don't even have to dock it type of technology where it's almost like like the waves go through the air and go into your phone and charge the phone. In order for you to not even dock it, need to put it to like connect it to the charger.
You wouldn't need a battery by that point.
Exactly. Like what technology is there to do such a thing, right? That would probably be the next step of solving a problem. Other than that, I mean,
humans being humans, they're gonna find a way to make a weapon out of that.
Well,
first.
I guess, and I guess that would also resolve the issue of needing to put a lithium-ion battery where it could potentially blow up in your pocket.
The beeper story of 2024.
That was another crazy thing, right? But more so, just that problem-solving issue for a person would probably be very enticing. Whoever is able to find the solution and then trademark it or patent it, they're making bank. Other than that, I mean, how many more foldable displays do you need? Do you want a quad?
I want a map. I want it to become like those road maps or atlas maps from the gas station.
You want to scroll. That's what you want.
Yeah, like an old style, but it's all LED and it's no batteries.
Like, I guess you can say there's technology that's very similar to that. But again, how practical is it on a day-to-day, right? Like, will it be bright enough for you to actually enjoy whatever content you're watching on a scroll? Is it practical? No. Like, would you be able to unravel it and like a scroll on the bus or in the taxi or while you're at your favorite coffee shop and you're trying to do things and
practical.
It's like, I don't think, so like you have to find that happy medium of between whimsical and practical. And
I was thinking military style,
but then military style would have to go more on the practical side than the whimsical side. True. I think whimsical side is like you trying to do something like that for home use, and it gets to the not absurd, but it gets to the point where you're the guy, right, walking around with the goggles.
Oh yeah, the Google Glass style. Yeah,
and then you trip while you cross the street and you fall down.
Oh, clumsy me.
Yeah, because you think that you can multitask, right?
Yes, yeah.
Like walking and commuting from point A to point B. And
while watching a YouTube video.
Yeah, while having a whole headset onto your head, like stuck to your head.
What was that? The Apple thing, right? On the cars?
I don't know if it was Apple or Facebook, but it was like this big ass headset that people like the Apple, I guess, goggles, right? Or Apple VR. Well, the point is like people were looking super funny, like kind of goofy.
I mean, Google tried, man. Google Glass tried, but no.
I mean, again, they're probably gonna do something if they have quantum computing down. Like they're gonna.
Microsoft tried too.
I think Microsoft is
with the Halo trailer and all those things, like interactive trailer, like in the room and everything.
I think due to the fact that Microsoft's bread and butter is more a suite of programs, right? So they're Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and they've made it to the point of having them a recurring payment for you to actually use it. Like that's their bread and butter, right?
The bread and butter. Who bought the Microsoft one?
The suite of
the HoloLens.
HoloLens?
Yeah, it used to be called HoloLens.
I don't recall.
The military.
Is that who bought it?
Yep. And they already have a model that has night vision. It has basically everything that you see in video games,
right?
Like in Rainbow Six Siege, you see your friends up here in the next level, although like seeing through materials with night vision, infrared. It highlights your buddies, and anything that's not highlighted is an enemy, and it highlights your friend blue and the enemy red. They already have models like that, interactive, like night vision goggles or helmets integrated, and they have different versions. And they had version 1 all the way to like version 15 or version double digits numbers, with different squadrons of soldiers. And you already know that they're young bucks, like 18, 19-year-olds. Like, oh, this is like video game stuff. I can see at night, I can see who's my... And they were war gaming. They were giving their insight of saying, this works, this doesn't work. Make it smaller. The battery is too heavy. Like, make the battery more ergonomic to my flak, my flak jacket or whatever. Make it more resistant to sweat, to water, to cold, and and they were giving all that in. as of this year, they brought it down not only to the helmet, but to have a certain version that goes onto you, like that attaches with the normal goggles, and it's binocular or monocular. You have two options, and it has the highlight feature, do not highlight feature, with your friends or foe tag, friends and friendlies and not friendlies tags, and so on and so forth. Like you with your friend, you tag a marker somewhere with GPS, and it'll give you a line to follow.
Okay.
But that's courtesy from the HoloLens,
Right,
from Microsoft.
HoloLens. But I think, I don't know if it was Microsoft. They obviously have contracts with the military, but I think that has to do with the person of Bill Gates and doing all that,
Mr. Gates?
Yeah, behind the scenes type of thing. Where I think that like Microsoft, I think other companies or other competitors like a Google, like a Tesla, like
a Tesla,
yeah, are probably going to get to the point where they'll create something that the military is going to want. And again, I don't know how probable or plausible that's going to be if due to the fact that you have Elon and Tesla, I guess, cutting back certain things on certain departments in the government. I think they have like this group called Doge, right?
No.
Yeah. So they have
a department of
Doge, where they're gonna basically scale back and cut out all the waste from like
what's that's an acronym, right? Department
of something or other. I don't quite remember it right now, but the fact that they're gonna cut back on.
I need my heart. Continue. I need a.
They're gonna cut back all the waste of money from the different departments that are kind of just wasting it on nonsense. They're just gonna like tell them, hey, listen, yeah, that's not happening anymore. Definitely figure out some other
public government or military itself also.
I want to say it's no government.
Department of Government Efficiency.
Doge.
Optimization.
Yeah,
Dope.
Bro. That's what it is. But funny enough, what they're gonna try to do.
Yeah, this is a real thing with Elon. Like, is this gonna happen?
Yeah, it's happening already. They're getting their. I think they spoke in front of Congress like maybe a couple of days ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Y'all get ready. You guys are out.
And
efficiency Doge purpose. Okay. The title is popular by moniker. The concept. It does not currently represent the official name of the commission. It's just a joke name, but a placeholder. But I feel like it's gonna be real, man.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. What happened was that there was during the campaign, the Trump campaign, he had a interview with Trump over on Twitter, and
is that how we won him over?
And no, basically he was explaining and breaking down what, his whole spiel. And it got to a point where Elon felt comfortable enough asking President Trump, hey, listen, I think what needs to happen is that you need to create a department where the person that's in charge can scale back and cut the fat of the government where they're misusing money on bullshit. Like on nonsense, bro.
Shenanigans.
And President Trump was like, you know what? That sounds like a fantastic idea. And you know what? I think you would be a perfect fit to work in that department. That's what he said, bro.
Right. This is allegedly. This
happened.
Wait, no, this is recorded him to Elon, right?
This is recorded.
Okay,
not in the exact words, like that I'm saying, but
I'm here just summarizing.
Like if you could definitely look it up on, I want to say either Google or search or YouTube.
Your favorite search engine, yeah.
Your favorite search engine, and you'll probably find that clip of was like where Elon is basically asking or sharing with President Trump, like, you know what, there should be a department where you can like kind of cut back the fat, like, or scale back on the misappropriation of funds by the government and shenanigans. And he's like, yeah, I don't see why not. And it's like, maybe you could be that person, right, to kind of like work in that situation. And he's like, in any way I can help, I'll be more than happy to. I was like, okay. And then when, I guess this is the reason why President Trump picked
Elon was in the back. I was like, yeah,
he picked both Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, the other presidential candidate that that from Indian descent. He bowed out the election and backed President Trump, also
Okay.
Republican. But
Yeah.
before that, his I guess you can say his forte is an entrepreneur, business owner, and basically he worked in, I want to say, medical equipment or something. I'm not quite sure what
In the medical industry.
industry in some way, shape, or form. Point being that the president picked both Vivek and Elon to head this new department of Doge.
I'm just saying, like, you're basically saying you're creating a department that you decide what's fat and what's not fat, and that's good and all. I want to believe it, and they're going to be looking for the optimized things, but you're just creating a department where you eliminate competition also.
Well,
And
it's
don't get me
not
wrong, the government has not been perfect, and it will never be
But-
perfect.
free market always works, right? So the government isn't supposed to work like it's been working, in the sense of like taking people's money, i.e. your money, your tax dollars, my tax dollars, and then misappropriating it by using it to do shenanigans.
XYZ, yeah.
Shenanigans can be funding wars. Shenanigans can be basically paying for these woke
There was like
teachers.
at least $1 trillion that went into developing new weapons that never went through. At
Well,
least
That's what
that
they
fell
tell
off.
you. That's what they tell
That's
you.
what
Maybe,
they put on public documents.
Right.
Agreed.
right. Or funding this woke agenda in public education, or misappropriation money where it's like is going into departments like, I guess you can say, shadow departments that
Black
don't
bag.
exist.
Yeah. Must be a spec ops thing.
Yeah, and then
My thing. Are they
Yeah.
gonna have to get the highest government clearance, or are they gonna get certain level and say, "Sorry, Mr. President, you don't have the clearance for this,"
well,
like they did to Clinton or to his son?
most presidents, right? Well, the thing is,
Yeah.
this is the thing.
I mean,
I
they
don't-
seem to, yeah.
If I'm spitballing here, I think the way President Trump wants to do things, based on his rhetoric, is that as a president, he wants to make he wants to fire and hire the people that he thinks is appropriate for those tasks at hand, right? Or for the departments, or for the heads of whatever department needs to be dealt with or ran in a certain way to better the situation.
I want to hear his stance on gun laws.
I want to say that he's pro Second Amendment, so no one needs to worry about
On the
losing.
ATF, yeah.
Yeah, so I think but also we have to understand that federal law obviously is not the same as state law. And your
Yep.
state is the one that regulates, I guess you could
The
say.
final word, yeah.
Well, not the final word in the sense of certain things, right? The federal might want to overreach, where it wants to give you the liberty to do whatever you think is correct, but the state is the one that kind of wants to pander to the few and say, there's so much gun violence in the country.
That's where you
Yeah,
have the most influence in your local government.
right. But the problem is, like, all right, due to the fact that there's been so many school shootings and XYZ, unfortunately, people kind of surmise, listen, so if that's the issue, then taking guns off the street would be the proper course. Yes.
You're creating a black market demand.
Yes, but also the people that are committing a lot of these crimes are people that are, to your point, wearing these
You're
guns.
the black market already.
Right. Like, unfortunately, like, let's take an example. People that are in rural areas compared to in a city,
Big cities, yeah.
big cities, right? The person that's doing a lot of the, I guess, the violence with the guns in these city settings, right? Like, are gang members or something of that nature, right? Most likely, those are the people that are acquiring their guns in an illegal way, right?
And they're hurting the people that
Right.
are doing legally the acquiring
Right.
their weapons, yeah.
Right. So, but unfortunately, those aren't the people that are getting put on blast on the news,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's usually the person that takes their gun, right, and is shooting up a school. Those are the ones that get the most spotlight, right?
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying there's one is wrong and one is right. No, I'm saying that you should also shed some light to the illegal guns that are acquired and used in the most incorrect way, where a lot of these people are obtaining guns illegally and then
Stealing guns from
and-
out of state and smuggling it in.
whatever the case is.
Yeah, XYZ.
But no one's shedding light that, listen, 2 nights ago, someone got shot up in the city or something like that, right? I guess to the other point we were talking about, the CEO of United Health, right? Got shot up,
earlier,
right?
before recording. Yeah,
Yeah, so like professional assassin much? Yes?
I'd say so.
I would say so as well, right? But
His
again,
mansion and everything, Luigi, my boy, damn.
well, again, what I think is crazy is that I don't know if he's really
That
the guy that did
McDonald's
it.
suffered. You heard that, right?
Yes, that particular one did. But again, I don't think it was necessarily him.
It's something higher.
I think he's taking
He's the fall guy.
yeah, he's the fall guy, but I don't necessarily think it was him. I kind of think it might be someone different. But again, that's my headcanon, my speculation.
That's our speculations. It's not actually fact.
But again,
And
people are gonna
you heard that the McDonald's workers that called 911 are not getting the
reward. Yes.
No, but why? Why though?
Because they called the cops and didn't call the number that was
I'm
issued.
surprised that the person that answered the phone, hey, so okay, I'll send the guys. Let me call in the hotline. So yeah, there's this, and then the person that put in the call through the 911 or whatever person is on the phone.
Which this is the reason why people are I guess petty to a certain extent, where it's like if something of this nature ever happens again, which I hope it doesn't, but if it does, people are going to be less reluctant to call,
to snitch, if you will.
Yes, to call and let people know. Because they're like, oh yeah, nah, they're not going to give me no reward, so why even
Uncle
bother?
Sam's is nickeling, even then.
Yeah, so essentially I think that's going to be the issue, because people don't
snitching.
Yeah, people are going to, more than anything else, unfortunately, people are going to forget about the whole why it happened, and more so what happened due to the fact. So if I snitch, I'm not going to get the money regardless, because they're not going to remember I was supposed to call this number and not that number. Obviously,
with the whatever that guy's is, they're turning the frogs guy.
Yeah.
Remember, he got it sent to court because he was saying that the whole Columbine thing was a setup. When the whole, they say like, it was, something in the 90s, the shoot up in the 90s that happened, the big one. No, the Long Island one, right? No, it was the Connecticut one. No, wait, what was it? With the kindergarten.
That's Sandy Hook.
Sandy Hook. There you go. It was a setup or something like that. He got
Oh, you're talking about Alex Jones.
Yeah, there you go, Alex Jones. Yeah, he got
he got sued. Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah. But again, listen, I don't have too much info on it as far as like what happened, the details of that. But I do know that in this particular case, going back to like President Trump being good for or being strong on his stance
pull it back.
Second Amendment, I think that's a good thing, because you know who's going to be safe? A person with a gun. That's the person.
Doubt, yes.
It's like you're going to be able to defend yourself. This is the reason why they call it the Great Equalizer.
Yes, sir.
Sir. Bro, there's no more problems when you got a gat, When you got the Beretta, you got the llamas under the
You got a Beretta. Oh, what's the other one? Eagle. The Winchester?
Calico. The Calico.
The Winchester, the Beretta, and what's another brand? Smith & Wesson.
Smith & Wesson, right. Again, I think what needs to happen is more of like proper instruction of how to use a weapon, how to maintain a weapon.
Give classes.
That's essentially what I think should happen. But again, all the red tape around, getting these type of things going, just makes it for a really hard and difficult situation for people. And states don't help by, kind of making the person that owns a gun the I guess you could say the villain, opposed to like making them, or at least
versus the actual villains, the ones that are selling in the black market,
and showing them some sort of like sympathy or not sympathy, but more like, I guess, putting them in a good light because they're doing things in a lawful way, which is very important, I think. But again, people are going to react and act in such a way according to whatever information
what media is giving us
they're consuming, right? So me personally, I would hope that at some point a lot of these rules and regulations that are hopefully going to be put in place are going to be for the better for the country, for us citizens, where our tax dollars are going to go towards things that we actually, care about. One, and
I want better internet, man. I want more internet or security,
better call up
the
Trump's,
TNT don't get hacked again.
Yeah,
or
you better-
T-Mobile.
you better call up Trump and ask his boy Elon to hold it down with
The Musk
satellites.
Musk man, zhuzh it up over here.
Zhuzh it up, yeah. No, but I think those are like great points that we can definitely look into to see.
Or at least make public health something better, improved health. How about that for the people?
Yeah, but I think
Something. I don't have a better answer.
I think the way they're tackling it is kind of smart, because I think unfortunately we're always we have that, I guess, that set mindset of you go to the doctor so the doctor could prescribe something for you in order for you to get better, where it's like I think they're going to go to the root, and this is hence where they're adding a person like John F. Kennedy Jr., right? Or Robert F. Kennedy. I'm sorry.
Oh wait, I'm like, huh?
Robert F. Kennedy.
When they clone him?
Exactly.
When they clone JFK?
No, Robert F. Kennedy.
Yeah, the Kennedy family gentleman.
Yes. So Robert Kennedy is gonna deal with the Make America Healthy Again, which I think is super dope, because they've been treating our food like garbage, like some freaking lab.
Food, insurance, denying, and then medical services overcharging. The insurance,
right?
And we're losing.
Right. The question that's being raised by Robert Kennedy is, why is it that we're a first world country and we're the sickest we've ever been?
There's more people, I guess.
No. In the sense of like, why is it like back in the day, things like obesity, cancer?
There's answers for that, but I don't think we got time for that.
No, but like against the correlation where he's connecting the dots, right? Things like autism, right? So it's
I'm not even educated on that one, man.
Right.
So throw my cat to that.
Listen, neither am I, but him being an actual lawyer.
How about that?
Him being a lawyer that has to do with the environment and stuff like that has given him the opportunity to look into a lot of these things, where he makes a correlation. Again, not because I know this to be a fact, but his correlation or him connecting the dots is that a lot of this has to do with the crap food that we have in our system. This Monsanto's and all these other companies pumping our food with a bunch of chemicals that are bad for you.
Johnson.
Exactly.
All those guys, yeah.
Another thing that he is I guess putting on the table for people to investigate and search yourselves is the amount of shots that you receive as a newborn. So it's like, how do we go from a few to like a few too many? It's like,
is Doge gonna slide into that as well?
Probably. They're gonna ask the questions that need to be questioned and answered.
You don't have the clearance for this.
Well, if the president is the commander-in-chief and he's giving the authority to do it, bro, I mean, they're gonna have the slap box for the name.
Agreed. I'm not saying I agree. Like South Korea, you know how maybe they might do the South Korean thing, impose martial law.
Well, I don't think that would probably be more if, I guess, they wanted to
I'm not saying actually put martial law.
If someone wanted to overthrow,
that's the public. No.
Yeah, if they wanted to overthrow a government or something like that, like martial law would probably be something that would.
Yeah, I didn't mean it that way.
Yeah, but like, I think for those type of like the FDA, something like that's where like the thick of it is, right? Because there's so many hands in the cookie jar, right? Where it's like you don't know.
There needs to be optimization there.
Yeah, there needs to be a cleansing, if you will.
Damn.
Of the.
You're gonna give department. Are you gonna give each one a backpack and say, Well,
I think one of those things that needs to probably happen is vetting, right? So, who are you? What are you?
Who is you?
Yeah, who is you? And what is you here for? And it's like
new phone. Who this?
New phone is that? That's, I guess, the breakdown of it, and see where they can make adjustments in order for them to get better results, right? Maybe they've been doing something for like 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and it's been going poop. Maybe adjusting and changing it. Let's see if we can get better results. I think that's the right course correct. Opposed to like,
coming in. Is this your man?
Whose man's is this, right? Whose man's? Is this your man's? Fauci, is this your man's?
Imagine he just said like, do you know this guy? No.
But I think all those things are probably going to be a plus.
I want the shenanigans. I want to witness it. I want a live TV show of the Doge
I'm telling you, Vivek
happening.
and Elon sat, I think, in front of Congress like 2 days ago, bro. 2 or 3 days ago. And they were
I want
questioning.
Fauci.
Uh-huh.
I want the committee. Elon, Fauci, the internet guy, the FDIC.
The internet guy. Who is this?
FDIC or whatever that guy was.
Well, I thought you were going to say the guy from MySpace.
Everyone's Tom.
Tom. I thought you were talking about Tom. That internet guy? Or the Napster?
I want the Facebook guy. I want everyone just like on a committee or on a panel. Do you know this guy? Do you know the way? I want them to do this, like to optimize the government. If I'd pay for that. If Amazon can do a live stream of this, I'd pay for that.
Yeah,
there's already C-SPAN. The C-SPAN.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If you're gonna go on C-SPAN, you can probably see. It might be, that's to some degree, it might be boring, but I'm pretty sure there's gonna be highlights. There's gonna be I'm guessing
YouTube VODs.
Yeah, yo. And to be quite honest, I think for the administration, I think hopefully they're gonna do a better job than the previous administration. Just
was
because
there one before Doge?
Well, no.
Before Doge, post Doge, pre-Doge and post Doge.
Yeah. Again, I don't know how much they'll be able to handle. Hopefully, they handle quite a bit. I mean, 4 years is we might say it, glibly, like, oh yeah, it's 4 years, but 4 years goes by pretty quick.
We're gonna need a third term.
I don't know if we need a third term. I think the vice president that's gonna be. President Trump's vice president, JD.
Who? Okay.
JD Vance. I think he's a good candidate. I mean, again, we've seen a lot of people that were running for Republican, and I think there's a good pool of people that could potentially be future presidents at some point. But I think the really nice thing about it is that right now is where they're gonna be able to showcase what they know and how they can execute, and if they're a good fit, like their leadership skills.
We need a challenge coin for Doge challenge coin. Elon brings in any office in the government, puts the challenge coin. It means it's under observation by
Under
Elon and his crew. Yes, you've been doged.
You've doged.
You've what's that from the shooting up with the Matrix guy when he was an assassin, all those things with his dog John Wick. This is consecrated ground. Yeah.
You know who I thought you were gonna say? Like Duke Nukem.
No. Remember they had all the gold coins and everything?
Come get some.
Yeah, like this is consecrated ground. Welcome to the Doge de Dental or Continental. In NYC. Trump's tower is gonna be the Continental then.
Dang, bro. Yeah, no, but
consecrated ground.
Besides that, like you have people like a Bobby Kennedy, like a Vivek, like a Elon, like
you
a
already
Tulsi.
know him like Bobby? You type like that?
Yeah,
Bobby Kennedy,
the homie Bobby, Tulsi Gabbard, and other people that have basically left the Democratic side to go to the Republican side because
the Democratic side are like, what they say, they're making everyone estranged. Like if you support this, you're a Nazi.
They're really good. Yeah, they're really good at dividing.
Dividing it. There you go.
Yeah,
like they're ruining the good things they had.
Right.
No, just
not very good at uniting. Right. So there's a problem there.
If you vote against this, you are a hater or an Nazi.
Right. It's like very, very uplifting speech of unity there.
If you're anything masculine, you are a Nazi.
Right. It's like what?
No,
huh?
I don't need that.
I don't need that.
Even though if your ideas were good, the way you were pitching them are bad, and your ideas are not good right now.
Nah, not at all. But I think those are pretty good points as far as like what's coming down the pike. Again, fingers crossed, everything looks well. As far as I guess, just to round out the combo before I bounce, you want to hit a little bit of anime news?
Go for anime. Hit me. What do you know about anime right now?
I don't know much, but because I haven't been watching it for a little bit. But I have been keeping up with a couple of shows.
Yes.
I've been stacking up on Danmachi because I think that's like
a sleeper.
No, the show. Yeah, sleeper. Yes, but in general. But I think that's the anime to watch this season. As far as like compared to everything else that's been out. I mean, I guess people might be enjoying Blue Lock, the soccer anime.
Solo Leveling.
That's coming out probably next season. The movie, I think, came out, if I'm not mistaken.
Arise.
Yes, definitely. A couple of isekais, right? Reincarnated as, a rock.
Slime.
you
A
know,
rock.
A cup. I don't know. A monitor, a toothbrush. There's so many that have been coming out. And I think it's like, you really have to whittle it down to like the few gems that you can probably find.
Moshoko.
Definitely Mushoku Tensei is coming back at some point. What's the other one? The one that we were speaking about, the
Arifureta.
Arifureta, is this season as well. I think that one's pretty good. The art style changed a bit, which kind of threw me off because like I think the story is good. Unfortunately, the art style is not as up to par as season
Eminence
one.
and Shadow.
Well, season one, but like without the CG.
Yes.
Eminence and Shadow definitely coming through probably next season as well.
Yes.
I want to say, what's this other one that they were pushing? Yeah, I think you mentioned it. I think it was One Punch Man. I think is coming.
One Punch Man, yeah.
Season 3. Not sure what season, but if it's
Has to be season 4.
No. As far as like fall season, spring season, summer
Probably
season. Winter.
No, I don't know either. Yeah, I don't know that. Yeah, I agree.
So I'm not sure. I think
they're gonna make a remake Gundam Wing. I think a reimagining.
Okay, that might be a possibility. What's another thing? Oh, okay. So according to sources like Chibi Reviews and other people that do anime content, have been sharing through their videos about how Crunchyroll is in a bit of a pickle because it's not performing as well as it thought it would be.
What do you mean?
Well, I think it started with all the censoring that they've been doing. Their catalog has been getting really, really weak as far as like the selection of anime in their catalog. The type or the categories that they handle aren't up to snuff in the sense.
Are you saying they're losing to competition like High Dive or something like that?
No, more like they don't want to license it. Like
they own it, but they don't publish it either.
So they might take it off their catalog because they don't want to re-license it and distribute it, right? So say that they're trying to, from what I gather, they're trying to censor it, where if it's something that's a little too ecchi, they
interspecies reviewers.
A la interspecies reviewers. They take it off their platform. They don't pay for it. And if they do pay for it, they kind of lock it in so that no one else can use it, and then they kind of play no, it's because it's too ecchi. We can't show it. It's too racy.
They're going to Funimation,
right? And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I forgot who it was I was watching that was explaining the whole breakdown from this one article from Bloomberg, if I'm not mistaken.
Bloomberg in anime?
Yeah, I know. Weird, yeah. So the person that was giving the information was Otaku Spirit. There we go. So he was
Bloomberg.
Yeah, he was basically picking up an article from Bloomberg on anime where they were talking to former Crunchyroll workers and current Crunchyroll workers, where it's like it's not going the way they wanted to, as far as like making the company and the program or their app as well as it can be, and them throwing excuses around how it's like, oh, it's because of this, and they got to a point where they kind of summed up anime as cartoons for kids, and where Otaku Spirit was basically saying, whoa, no, this is the reason, like, these old farts up in their corporate offices don't understand what anime is. It's a medium where you have different types of categories, like a shonen, like a seinen, like a shoujo or whatever the female equivalent is, right? And it's basically because of these people, they want to like see how they can make money off of it, but not really consider the integrity of the actual product that they're selling. And this is where they kind of fall by the wayside and put out poop and not great quality, right? And then on top of it, they want to regulate it to the point where it no longer resembles what people actually want to see. And
they
it's
want
like
to publish what they want it to be.
Exactly. So they think that every show is going to be exactly like Demon Slayer, and they're going to be smacking it out the park.
Printing cash.
It's like you can't expect that every anime is going to be a Demon Slayer, right? Because it's obviously a different category, right? You know,
It's like expecting every American football game to be on what's the end of the game? What's the end of the season game?
yeah, like basically the champions, right?
Yeah, like you want every single game from beginning to end to be that champion style, and in every division, may
yeah,
it be kids football to professional.
And that's not possible. It's like
Agree.
you're going to get different types of anime according to what authors and people's likes are. And it's like, if you're going to categorize it by kids only, then you're going to miss the whole fact that anime is a medium. It's not just your whatever you illusion or your vision for it is, which is, it's not cartoons for kids. It's a medium where people,
It's art.
yeah, people can display different types of things for adults, for men, for women, for kids, for teens, for anyone. And the problem
The
here is
spectrum.
right. And then the problem here is that whatever they can, I guess, make money off is great. But once they can't make money off of it anymore, it's like they start losing money, and then they start figuring out ways how to squeeze more money out. And they put out crap like we've seen before, and they also censor like we've seen before. And then the person that basically is losing is the customer here, because now you have to pay, and they up the price on all their subscription services, and you're not getting any better quality of anything. You're still getting the same, if not a tad worse catalog.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to get to a point where they're going to like say, oh yeah, well, you know, we're not going to license, you know, as an example, we're not going to sponsor or pay for the licensing for Keijo or for like High School DxD or something like that, right? Because it's too ecchi or something, right?
It's not our image of what we want anime to be.
Right. And it's like, dude, just
No.
distribute. Do your job. Stop trying to act like the moral police here. It's like, let the person
We literally pay you to just be the library, not to be like the gatekeeper of said library.
Exactly. So this is a whole issue. So I don't know. Sony is a big company. They, you know, Sony.
I mean, they dropped the ball with the Helldivers.
Well, again, Sony bought Funimation. Sony merged Funimation with Crunchyroll, and you know all these
Killed Funimation.
Yeah, they did all, and they're killing Crunchyroll as well at the moment with the way their direction on, you know, doing all these shenanigans as well.
Are they going to eliminate the whole library with Crunchyroll then eventually?
I don't know, bro. That's the thing. There's no competition, right? And I think Otaku Spirit brought up a couple of details, you know, explaining certain things about like a competition, quote unquote competition between like Amazon, Amazon, Netflix, and Disney, right? Disney /
Are they trying to quench that and keep it only to those three, I guess?
No, because the way that he breaks it up is like the casual anime viewer might just want to see a certain show, and that certain show only has 12 seasons, right? So say that a Netflix buys or pays for the licensing, the intellectual property of like One Punch Man, right? As an example. So Crunchyroll can't use One Punch Man, right? Because it's licensed out to Netflix and not Crunchyroll. So here comes the, I guess, the difficulty for Crunchyroll. So say the people that only wanted to watch, the casual viewer that only wanted to watch One Punch Man is only gonna, already probably has Netflix. So they're only gonna watch One Punch Man on Netflix. They don't need to subscribe and waste more money on other platform that doesn't even have the stuff or the show that they want to watch.
Agree.
And it makes no sense to have both, even if the other catalog has more anime. But if he or she only wants to watch one specific anime, and that one specific anime is on another platform, there's no reasons to have more than
Sail
one
the high
platform.
seas.
Right. Or you could do that. But I mean, since the what's it called? Since I want to say maybe 2 months ago, they did like they basically closed a bunch of these pirating sites.
Who closed them?
The I want to say the anime who the hell did it? I'm not sure who it was, but I'm pretty sure like the big companies like Sony and stuff like that. Basically,
they're probably big enough to do that.
Yeah. So they went around and filed some sort of like, I want to say like they were either gonna pursue with sues or suing people to these pirating sites if they didn't shut down their website because they're obviously providing
Copyrighted content. Yeah.
illegally. Yes. What's it called? So after that happened, I guess the only competition again is Crunchyroll. And if you have companies like a Netflix, like a Amazon, and like Disney/Hulu, these are the only other companies that are going to pick up one or two IPs, or High Dive. They're going to pick up one or two IPs and they're going to put that on their platform, and then people are going to have to pick and choose, right? And if Sony wants to win in this, they're going to have to pick up the pace on licensing other shows and being less of a gatekeeper and giving what the customer wants, what they want, right?
Is Sony just a purely Japanese company? I think they just would want to get a what's a Daisuke website.com or something like that. More profit.
I don't know where the whole thinking, like where their thought process is right now, but I think that they want to kind of like cater to different countries' sensitivities, right? So the way I look at it is that Sony is making so much money off of subscriptions in the sense of like merchandise and all other things.
Crunchyroll specifically.
Well, not just Crunchy, but like just in general. Whatever that is, if it's a movie that's put in a movie theater that's not in Japan, and whatever movie theaters around the world that are able to pay for that, they make a cut of it. Any merchandise,
Sony hardware,
yeah, any merchandise that they not being specific towards anime, not to their other business, because we can say cameras, right? We can say TVs, but that's not really moving the needle as far as anime is concerned. Like specifically anime, because that's the thing we're basically talking about.
Yeah.
As far as like that aspect goes, they're seeing a lot of revenue coming from outside Japan, which is becoming big enough where it sways them to see, okay, maybe Europe or the US doesn't like so much ecchi because it's counterculture for them. So let's dial it back and not give them that. But I guess you could say. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's weird, I know. But the thing is, like, counterculture in the sense of like the rules and regulations of what is permissible for a certain viewer from age X to age Y, So that's basically what it is. And they have to, quote unquote, abide by the rules, right? In order for their platform
to be. Excuse, though.
It is because you're subject to the people that are paying you, not solely on the regulators. The regulators can kick rocks. Because it's like
you're not on their TV.
Yeah, bro. It's like you're not paying for the
station
client.
On them.
Yeah. It's like, okay, you're not. I'm not advocating for ultra sexualized things, right, or ultra violent things. But there are going to be certain things inside the shows that are going to be that, and that should be protected under the First Amendment, right?
Yes.
Free speech and how they want to portray certain things, bro. More so when it's like a medium, like an anime, where it's not real.
It's artistic.
Yeah, they should have their artistic licensing, right?
Didn't they show some ecchi in Italy? And it was like a video game one with
I don't remember.
Tifa and all those things. They use it as an example. Oh, there's Rule 34, and it's showing ultra sexualization of these video game characters, and we should censor more video games in Italy. Like, that's Rule 34. That's a website specifically for anything, not just video games. But they were using it as an example of how they were ultra sexualizing little characters, which are anime characters, and all those things. Like, it's a drawing.
And people are going to have different stances on that. Like, maybe people are like, well, it's just characters. All right, where do you draw the line, right?
The line is right there. It's drawn right there.
Right. No, but again, people are going to feel a different type of way depending on who you ask. Right. So again, some people are going to be like,
don't watch it.
Yeah. Like, live and let live. Right. And then there's going to be other people like, no, it's because the way people are able, the ease of you being able to access that, it makes it to the point where I should be careful. I should warn. I should be the one that decides. I should censor. Yeah, exactly.
There's currently, ironically, something about censoring North Koreans, right? They were heading to Ukraine. The first chance they had over there to do combat, they were given smartphones for communications, all those things with internet. Guess where they went to first?
I'm guessing Pornhub.
porn and they became ineffective in the field.
Bruh.
Even the
That's crazy.
they're like ineffective. You know, their hands are sore, their wrists are sore. You know,
Dang. Yeah.
just hours, straight hours. Like they never had that before. Imagine trying to censor them like that. Any wind of that happening to them outside of their walled garden, they're gonna be ineffective.
Well,
When it counts.
Again, what I can say to that is like that's what happens when you're a communist.
Damn! Don't say communism 3 times, or you're gonna get the fat electrician summoning. Like you've heard that meme?
No, but that sounds
Like,
wild.
The fat
bro.
electrician is a guy that says that doesn't like like the guy that created communism. The meme, he says, the guy that created communism was exiled of their country and buried in a highfalutin cemetery that you have to pay to go in to see his grave. That's
Karl Marx?
yeah. That's the ultimate expression of communism. Like you literally need the other form of government to support your ideas.
Yeah.
You
Guess
can't
so.
survive without the other form of ideas. Like first, you need to get rid of your competition there with communism, because acquiring all the means of production includes people, not only the means of production. The people are also the means of production.
Right.
So if you don't control everything, you have too many loose ends.
Very true. Very true.
And any hint of a loose end will cause destruction. And look at the example there with the North Koreans.
Very true. Yes, sir.
And with that, you know, don't be like in North Korea or like communism. I want to close a podcast with it like, hey, free speech, freedom to do what you want, and vote with your wallet kind of style. What do you think, Al?
Big facts. I like it.
And with that nice pretty Christmas tree in the background, you
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I want to wish you, Ali, I want to wish everyone listening to my voice happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year.
Yes, same. Merry Christmas, everyone. Mr. Marcos, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. Absolutely.
You know where to follow us. The link's in the description. Get at us. Well, if you want to leave a comment, remember, communism, communism, communism. Summoning the fat electrician, right?
Scream at me.
Yeah, but yeah. So with that, your listeners, wash your hands. Stay warm because it's freaking 20 below.
It's cold out here in the East
What's
Coast.
the temperature right now in your
Neck of the woods? Let me tell you really quickly.
right now? For me, it's 19 degrees, and that's without the wind chill.
Wind chill? Well, over here where I'm at,
With the wind
it's
chill,
19.
it's 5, and with the wind chill, it's
Yeah.
5.
Yeah. Feels like 5
Fahrenheit.
degrees. And it's 19, but with the wind chill, yeah, the real feel is 5 degrees. So guys, bundle up.
Yo, bundle up like 3 layers deep, and have a cup of coffee with you.
But what's that meme? The tiger, what's it called? The La Cobija del Tigre?
Okay, yeah, with the furs,
Right,
The
right.
Apple bottom jean. No, wait a
No,
minute.
no,
not
no.
that one. Not that one. Wait, hold
the
on.
tiger blanket, tiger blanket, bruh.
Okay, and the furs or the deer blanket. No, like Hispanics, like they always have a tiger. Or something like that.
That's crazy, bro.
Yo,
All right, well, it's been fun, everyone. I'll see you guys in the next one.
see you next year.
Next year?
Now imagine for the boom, hang up there. No,
Wait, next year? No, I thought we have one more recording.
imagine next year. Boom, just hang up.
All right, guys. Peace.